investments and save your hard-earned cash. Start your New Year's run with CNBC's Money Marathon all day New Year's Day. CNBC, make it your business.
Philatelists collect stamps, numismatists collect coins, Scripophyllists collect old stock certificates. So unlike many of the guests that we have on Power Lunch, when a Scripophylist tells you the value of a stock, he or she is not giving you long-term investment advice. That's not to say, though, that classic stock certificates can't be extremely valuable. Joining us today is Bob Kerstein. He's president of Scripophily.com, one of the largest websites for buying and selling classic stock certificates. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Michelle.
How big is this market, so to speak, and how did you get involved in it?
The market is, there's tens of thousands of people worldwide who buy and collect stock certificates, and I got involved in it since 1990, and I've been the CFO of a number of companies, and when I was making a transition from Macaw Cellular over to American Mobile Satellite, I went to a Civil War show, and at the Civil War show they had Confederate bonds, which intrigued me of the historic nature of the paper, and from then I got into other types of collecting stock and bond certificates over the years.
Okay, you sent us some examples. We want to talk about them. Tell me about this one, the Buckeye Steel Castings Company.
The Buckeye Steel Castings Company, it was a company that it builds couplers for railroads, and what's intriguing about this certificate is that it's signed by Samuel Prescott Bush, who's the great-grandfather of George W. Bush.
So way down there in the right-hand corner of the screen, that is the great-grandfather, the
great-grandfather of George W. Bush and the grandfather of George Bush.
Isn't that interesting? How much would this be worth?
That sells for about $70 on our website currently.
And this is a real signature? I mean, they have to physically sign every single one of these?
Exactly.
Oh, interesting. The next one is kind of funny. The Financial News Network.
Yes, that is kind of funny. That is a company that was a predecessor to CNBC. The company sold its assets, I believe, in 1991 to CNBC, and that's how CNBC got started.
That's right, and a lot of my co-host Bill Griffith worked there, so did Sue Herrera, Ron Insana, and also Joe Kernan. F&N, as it was called. Right.
In fact, that's the only certificate of that we've had and seen.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay. The Grey Goose Airways. Tell me about this one.
That was put together by a fellow named Jonathan Codwell, and what they did is he wanted to put together an airline or a plane that had a vertical takeoff and it would flap its wings like a goose. And it was kind of interesting. In the 1930s,
there it is. We have the plane right up on the screen right now.
Right. Okay. When he started the company, he raised money for it, and then it was later found out to be a fraud, and he was charged with fraud charges by the state of New Jersey.
Fraud on Wall Street. On the back
surprising.
on the back of that certificate, I found very interesting this section labeled "Your Opportunity."
Right.
Ours is one of the greatest opportunities yet offered.
Exactly.
Yeah. Interesting.
We have a copy of his prospectus, and it's very interesting, some of the comparisons he made in there, but they don't do that anymore.
How much would this be worth?
That's about $150 to $200.
Oh, interesting. Enron Corporation is the next one.
Enron, everybody knows Enron. This particular one has a printed signature of Kenneth Lay, which is more desirable than the one that, there's one that came out after that that has McMahon's signature on it. But Enron's a classic, and that's been our most popular seller this year in certificates, and it has a nice printing, nice image, has the company's logo of the crooked E, and it's a great collectible, and everybody knows about it.
Now, did you say a printed signature?
Well, it's not hand-signed. I mean, it's his actual signature, but each certificate is not hand-signed, so it was printed on the actual certificate, unlike what we saw with Samuel Prescott Bush, where his signature was actually hand-signed on the certificate.
And how much are the Enron certificates selling for?
Enron certificates sell for, with Kenneth Lay's signature, probably $80 to $100, with a more common signature of McMahon sell for about $30 to $40.
Far more than the stock is actually worth.
Yes, it's worth the paper it's printed on.
Exactly. The next one, Etoys, probably one of the big symbols of the .com bust.
Exactly. Etoys, it's a great-looking certificate, and it has the vignettes, and the vignette is the actual picture, the images that they have on the certificate. It has some. It's nice-looking. It's historic. It was one of the first .coms that didn't make it, and at the time when it first went out of business, it was asked for almost on a daily basis. And these certificates are very hard to find, and this sells for around $200 now.
$200. Interesting. Thanks so much, Mr. Kerstein.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and have a great New Year.
You too. Bob Kerstein of Scripophily.com. You can find it on the internet. Still ahead, the sisters who have made it their business to make the best olive oil on the market.